What was condition in hospitals? I heard from some of my guests that that was a good opportunity for hospitals to earn some money and that they get compensation for keeping patients in hospitals, even for treating them. And finally, the biggest money came if they die from COVID. Is this true?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, there were financial incentives to put them on a ventilator, to diagnose them with COVID. So let's say they came in on a car wreck and had nothing to do with COVID. They would test them for COVID. And if they tested positive, they would get a bonus. And you're right, if they had COVID on their death certificate, they had a bonus. I don't know what your system was like, but and then the hospitals were very rigid. Most hospitals would not allow visitors. So people were dying alone. They were subjected to rigid protocols. They were persecuted if they were not vaccinated. So now I wasn't in the hospitals at all. So I'm going off of charts that I've reviewed, but I've seen several examples where, the patient, every single note says not vaccinated, like a mark on their record. And I'd never seen that before. Like you see people with the flu and you would maybe in the initial assessment, they might say didn't get a flu shot, but it wouldn't be on every single note saying, not vaccinated for flu if they ended up in the hospital. So it was very obvious. They were starving people. They were not giving them nutrition. They were dehydrating them. There was some false misconception that there was too much fluid in the lungs. So they would restrict fluid and then they would give them diuretics to try to, dry them out, which then is very hard on the kidneys. And then if you give them a Remdesivir, which is also very hard on the kidneys as well, on top of that, then you're looking at a double whammy on kidneys and kidney failure. This case that I've been fighting about with the medical board, they basically refused to give this patient the opportunity to get a second opinion. I mean, the hospital granted me emergency temporary privileges, and the court did, and the hospital basically refused to obey the court order. And when they were very worried about him getting ivermectin, they wrapped up his feeding tube with towels to prevent anybody from sneaking it in, and then they turned me into the medical board. And it's hard because these hospitals are protected. We have something called the PrEP Act, which protects the hospitals from any liability that happened during the pandemic. I don't know if y'all have that, but that's been a big hurdle to overcome to try to get any accountability.
Yes, I heard about this PrEP Act. I had also one show about this.